And away we go. It is the Nightcap. Brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Hail Mary's located in Cheviot. They're on Harrison Avenue in the Dora District. You can go from bar to bar with your drinks, but why would you do that? You can just hang out at Hail Mary's, 27 TVs, 9-screen video wall. They subscribe to every sports package that DirecTV offers. There's not a bad seat in the house. And Cincinnati Sports will always be on the video wall. Great place if you can't make it to a sold-out Fifth Third Arena tomorrow. Head to Hail Mary's. They will get you taken care of. Food trucks on the weekends, brand new draft lines, brand new walk-in cooler. And not only do they pour the coldest Cincy Light around, but they do so in 32.8-degree frosted glasses. All right, special Friday night edition. What are you? You're moving stuff.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I can hear you moving.
That's not me. That's upstairs. There's I think 6 14-year-old boys upstairs right now. They may or may not be playing poker. I don't know. I have no idea.
It sounds like a herd of buffalo over there.
It smells like one too.
All right, let's get to this. I don't know how long this is going to be, but it gets a little difficult the second time around. We're not telling you anything new. Cincinnati, BYU tomorrow, 6 o'clock, the 6 o'clock Saturday. I think I like 4. 2 is great because we can get done. We're usually done by like 7 o'clock on the 2 o'clock games. I think 4 is my preference. 6 is okay. It's gonna be a little late when we get done, but that's okay.
I have to help Rachel's sister move tomorrow, so I would have preferred 4 as well. Right in smack dab in the middle of everything. Gotta go, but instead,
sorry, I gotta go. We gotta work.
Instead, I'm stuck.
You'll be there right until everything's done and it starts to get dark out. You'll miss the pizza and beer. Do they still, like when you move somebody, do they still provide pizza and beer?
I don't know the answer to that actually. It's been a little while since I've moved anybody.
Yeah, you're gonna throw out your back or something.
I am over 40.
You are. That's what I'm saying. You're too old to be moving people. Like, do they have movers out there in the middle of nowhere?
Well, I mean,
hire a mover.
They built this lavish home on their property that they already had, so it's moving from one part of the property to the other part of the property.
But then you should be able to get a good deal on movers.
Shouldn't
don't have to go far.
The 14-year-olds upstairs.
Yeah, just get them, give them like $20 each, and move a bunch of crap.
Poker money.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get this show on the road though. BYU comes in 16th in offense, 64th in defense. They are 33 overall. So at home, it'll be just outside of a quad 1 win if Cincinnati can get the job done. They are predicted on KenPom to win by 1, 69-68. I think there's only been 4 times this year that BYU has scored in the 60s. So I will believe that when I see it. We know what they're going to do. They're going to pack the lane on defense. They're going to make Cincinnati shoot over the top of them. That was a problem the first time around. You have to anticipate it's going to be a problem again. BYU has they don't have like a giant rim protector, but they're all pretty long. Like they've got good positional size, I guess is a good way to put it, Aaron.
Yeah, they spread you out too. It seemed like anytime Richie Saunders rose up, there was not a hand in his face, whether that be because he is long.
We'll get to offense here in a minute, yeah.
I'm just saying, to kind of go off your point, I don't know if it's just simply because he is long or because he just had that much space, but
yes. He's 6'5". I mean, he's about average size for a wing. Like he's the anticipated size you'd expect for a 3-point shooting wing, I think is a fair way to put it. But defensively, that's what they want to do. They keep everybody right around the paint. They make you kind of challenge them off the bounce, and if you get into the paint, there's 2-3 guys always there kind of to contest the shot. So you have to be cognizant of that. They're not the most fleet-footed of defenses, but they're effective. The only way to really punish them is to shoot well over the top of them, and they do. Teams score pretty well on them. Like I said, they're 64th in defense, so it's not like they're a juggernaut defensively. They're 229th in three-point percentage. They're 89th in two-point percentage. So there's an opportunity to score on them. Cincinnati's just going to have to be a lot more efficient, a lot more effective than they were the first time around because it was ugly.
So you also can't lose the rebound battle you did against BYU last time. You simply cannot go 5 of 28 from three. That's dreadful for 18%. They missed 38 shots in total in that game against BYU. Well, last game they made 39 total. So you have to have more shots that you make than shots that you miss. Figure it out.
Yeah, they are. This is not a team that you're going to get a bunch of offensive rebounds. They are 7th in the country in defensive rebounding percentage. So Cincinnati did do a pretty good job of that early in the first game. It kind of faded after the opening 2 or 3 segments. They got a bunch of long rebounds early in that game, long offensive rebounds early in that game, mainly from really bad missed three-pointers, Aaron. Those are not the kind of offensive rebounds you want to get. No. Because they don't generally lead to easy points. But offensively, they can shoot the crap out of it. Like they pass it really well. That's the biggest problem for concern for me, Aaron, is I think this defense struggles against the teams that are really good passing teams, and they turn that ball movement into open three-pointers.
Yeah, BYU had 18 assists on 28 made field goals in the last game. They did turn the ball over 14 times. So if you can capitalize on that, but I think that, look, personally, I hope to see Cincinnati pushing tempo and kind of putting BYU in a situation where they're not just relaxed and getting these wide open threes, popping the ball all over the place. Push tempo, both offensively and defensively. If you're able to force BYU to be uncomfortable and dictate how the game is going to play, I think you stand a far better chance than if you allow BYU to do what they did last time and do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, if you let them settle in and just run their stuff, they're going to pick you apart. They're too skilled to, at that point, you're just begging that they have a bad shoot, like they miss a bunch of open shots. That's not good defense.
Right.
Like, so the thing that when I look at this game, Aaron, and looking back to the last game, that game was 23-23 with a minute left in the half. And instantly, Igor, whatever, Yegor, that's not how Russians pronounce their name anyhow, but I know, I'm just telling you, I don't like it. They allowed him to get 5 points to end the half. They went in down 28-23. BYU hit a couple shots early in that first segment of the second half, and Cincinnati just imploded. They are going to have a stretch or two where they make shots. Like,
sure,
even if they're not shooting well in a game, they're going to have a stretch or two where they get hot and they're going to string together a 12, 15-point 4-minute segment. It's just going to happen. It's inevitable with a team that 3 out of 4 games scores 70 plus. Might even be more than that, like breaking down the math. But it's probably 4 out of 5 games they score 70 plus. Anyhow, that's my fear for this team, Aaron. Like, when their backs are against the wall, do they fight back or do they just crumble? We did not get to see really that. I mean, they did a good job maintaining the lead against a Central Florida team that kept scoring. But let's say BYU hits a hot streak and gets up 7. How does Cincinnati respond? Well, are they able to get it back to 3?
If BYU does something like that, you just simply can't have 1, 2, 3, and start piling up these lulls where you have 3-minute, 4-minute, 6-minute stretches where you aren't hitting a shot. If they go off for 7, let that be they went off for 7 in the span of maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, instead of, again, 4, 5, 6-minute stretch where you just simply don't do anything. That's, again, where you talk about pushing tempo, dictating the pace of this game. Cincinnati's got to be better at just kind of flexing their will on a game instead of just allowing teams to run their entire offense all over you.
Yeah, I mean, BYU does want to play somewhat fast offensively. They're 106 in the country in offensive tempo. They do, because the way they pack the lane, like they slow it down, and that's going to be the challenge for Cincinnati. You're going to have to your point, you're going to have to get to the rim. You're going to have to get into your stuff quick, because if they get their defense set and they get to load the box and they get to stand there and just challenge you to shoot over them, what happens? Just a lot of passing around the perimeter, a lot of dribbling into guarded spaces, and then you're down at 7 seconds on the shot clock, and you got to make something happen. That's what they want you to do.
What happens is 5 for 28 from 3, and that's terrible.
Well, I mean, this team can shoot 5 for 28 from 3 in any type of tempo, Aaron.
Well, that's a whole different discussion.
Unfortunately, I feel like this team could shoot 5 for 28 from 3 in an empty gym sometimes.
We can go down that road if you want.
They're a 3-point shooting team. They've been one of the worst in the country since the start of conference play. So,
but they've also been one of the worst in tempo, and you saw them in tempo against UCF, and they actually, maybe it's the fact that they didn't have time to think about how bad they've been all season at shooting, and they just played free. They played loose. Blame it on dodgeball. Blame it on whatever the hell you want. Hopefully, it's something you can build on, because I don't want to keep doing shows where you lose 80 to 52, 53, whatever, 52 against BYU again. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, they scored 23 in the first half and 29 in the second half. Couldn't get a half over 30, especially a half where BYU was just running you out of the gym, and you couldn't punch back. I want to see, is this team salty because of what BYU did to them that second half in Provo? Because they got their ass kicked. Straight up, flat out, no other way to put it. They got their ass kicked.
I don't care if they're salty about that or if they're salty about the fact that they've let this season get away from them, and they're clinging desperately to threads of a string.
Yeah. This one would actually, UCF was like, okay, they got a win. And they did it in a way that felt aesthetically pleasing.
Sure.
This one would be like, okay, maybe this team can put a little run together here in the start of the back half of the Big 12 schedule. I would feel much better about things after a win against BYU than I did against Central Florida. That's just unavoidable fact.
What do we say all the time? You got to win the ones you're supposed to win. You're supposed to win against BYU at home. On paper, this team should win against
on
BYU.
Paper, no, they shouldn't.
Well, if you go back a couple weeks ago, I guess you should have. But the odds aren't out yet.
We're looking at different papers.
I'm surprised the odds aren't out yet. I'm curious to see what the line opens up on this one. I'm guessing BYU by like 2.5. Like I said, Ken Palm's projecting a 1-point Cincinnati victory, 69-68. ESPN's analytics give Cincinnati a 53.5% chance to win this game.
Go win the game.
And do what you're supposed to do.
Go win the game. All right. You going to play poker? You going to go join them?
Nah.
Oh, come on. Go take their money, Aaron. That's the nightcap. We'll see you tomorrow night for the aftermath. To win the game, please. This show is brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, live from the Cincy Light Studios right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!